Hi, and welcome to another episode of Woman Witness Podcast, The Stories at the Well. I'm your host, Leah Fortier. As you know, this is a platform where we bring to you voices of women that are out there shattering the norms and making a difference in their lives, in the community, in the world around them. Today, I have a special topic for you, and I want you to lean in. I know sometimes it's hard for us to tell ourselves yes, but we're going to highlight that topic and dig a little bit more with my special guest today. But before I bring her in, I want to read a little bit about her. I'm going to be bringing you guys today Miss Jacqueline Johnson, who has a significant and diverse impact on women through her brand Jacquie Ooh. By focusing on empowering women to lead fulfilling lives and think positively, Jacqueline has built a supportive platform that provides resources and inspiration to women from various backgrounds. A standout aspect of Jacquie Ooh is her online talk show, Motivational Mondays, which has received the Telly Award for exceptional content. Through this show, Jacqueline encourages and engages women worldwide, discussing a wide array of topics such as parenting, marriage, education, domestic violence, finances, and many, many more. By sharing the stories of voices of women, Jacqueline offers a valuable insight and encouragement, fostering a sense of unity and empowerment amongst her audience. Apart from the talk show, Jacqueline is the mastermind behind the eco-friendly skincare line, the Glow Collection by Jacquie Ooh. Her product, which emphasizes natural beauty, wellness, is accessible on all major platforms like Walmart, select retail locations, including the Sister Shop in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and the Lavender Farm at Half Moon Bay in California. Through her skincare line, Jacqueline not only advocates for her own self-care, but also supports sustainable, environmentally conscious practices. Outside of her professional pursuits, Jacqueline is a dedicated wife and mother. Without further ado, I am so excited to introduce to you my guest today, Miss Jacquie Ooh. Hey, Jacquie, welcome to the well.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful welcome, introduction. Thank you so much.
I have been following you on social media and I am just obsessed with you. And and I am so glad that you agreed to come on our platform and share a little bit about what you're doing. So let me just give you over the floor just to give us another introduction and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, I am Jacqueline Johnson, the creator of Jacquie Ooh. I live in Texas, right outside of Dallas, Fort Worth, in the Denton area with my husband and my daughter, which I'll soon be an empty nester. She's graduating high school in the next couple of weeks. I have two amazing grandsons, so I am a Jimmy. My two sons that live in California, and I have a newly married daughter, Layla. So I have four amazing children that are doing some great things. And of course, those of you that follow me on social media, y'all already know about Mr. Johnson, my husband. When we go different places and people that know us, they're like, if they don't see him, where's Mr. Johnson at? Wait a minute, you need to be talking to me.
Right.
I have a all natural skincare line called the Glow Collection by Jacquie Ooh. And it is an amazing skincare line that we have all natural ingredients that we use. And the cool thing about, well, not really the cool thing, but the blessing about our skincare line is that a portion of the proceeds, they go to help single moms. I was once a single mom and I had an amazing support community. However, there are so many that do
Mhm.
not have that. And so
Yeah.
you may fall short a little bit with your gas money, with your groceries, with your bills. So when people reach out to us, they may suggest someone to us, or someone may just reach out to us. We want to be able to be a blessing. So some of the proceeds from the Glow collection by Jacquie O goes towards that. And as you stated earlier, Leah, I also have Motivational Monday with Jacquie O, which is an online talk show, and we stream live every first Monday of the month. And we talk about everything. This year is our 4th year.
Wow.
And I am amazed because we started out with an idea during COVID, not knowing how this was going to
Not
turn
knowing.
out. And now
Not
look at us.
because this wasn't happening like this on this level prior to COVID,
Not
Jacquie.
at all. Not at
Wow.
all.
I love
So,
your
yeah.
consistency and I love what you're doing and giving back. That is so amazing. So thank you for sharing us a little bit about becoming a business owner. I want to ask you what inspired you to take that leap of faith and jump into it?
So, what inspired me was my 2 daughters, Layla and Maya. And at
Mm,
the time, I was going through a divorce. I had been a stay-at-home mom for many years,
mm,
and as I was transitioning to be the single mom and
mhm,
everything, I went back to work. I
mm,
was living from paycheck to paycheck,
mm,
just
mhm. Yep.
surviving. And my 2 daughters came to me one evening and they said, Mom, we want to start a business selling sugar scrubs. So let me back up a little bit. I have always been a skincare junkie, always
Really?
skincare. And so I loved all types of sugar scrubs and salt scrubs. And
Mm.
I would have all those type of things underneath my cabinet in
Uh-huh.
my
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah. That's where all the good stuff is.
Yeah. And my daughters would use my things, and what they would do after they used it, they would put the empty container
Of
back
course.
under the cabinet. So I'm
Yes.
thinking, I'm gonna go and have myself a nice bath, use this,
Uh-huh.
that, girl.
No. All gone.
It was like, find me. And I would tell them all the time, stay out of my things, stay out of my things. So they came to me and they were like, Mom, we want to start a sugar scrub business. So I was all ears
How
because
old were
I've always
they?
been just helping other women start businesses and just doing other things. So when my daughters came, I said, okay. So me with my little crazy self, I didn't say, no, let me research this. Let me get my
Mhm.
coins together. I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, let's do this.
That's a great idea.
Not really knowing like all of the cost that was going to be
Of course.
involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
was already in, right? Because I
Right.
said
Oh,
yes. So we immediately got to work and we created sugar scrubs, and as we were doing that and I was researching the different oils, my daughters had eczema and I didn't experience that with my son, so that was something new for me. We were going back and forth to the doctor and
yep.
they were saying, oh, well, you need to use this kind of cream, but I didn't because it had steroids in it, and I heard
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
wasn't good for the skin.
Yep.
So as we started doing the sugar scrubs, the oils that we were using, I was like, this is going to help them. This is like gold in a bottle.
Yeah.
And so we started doing that. And so that was in March of 2012 when we started our business with sugar scrubs. And as time went on, we had a whole line. But within 6 months' time of that, they came back and they said, Mom, what if we did mobile spa parties? And I'm like, mobile spa parties? Like, what would we do with that?
Wow.
And so
Wow.
they began to tell me how we can paint girls' nails and different things. So I researched it. And at that time, there was not people really doing that.
Mm-mm.
Um, Sweet and Sassy, but they were like a big name, right?
Right. Right.
Retail. But
Mhm.
there wasn't little mom and pop like us that
Yes.
were doing this. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I had
Mm.
a minivan. People talked about me and my little Honda Odyssey minivan. Girl, where you go with that minivan? That minivan, it was amazing
It was
because I had
amazing.
it wrapped. I had our name Sugar Babes on there. I couldn't afford to hire anyone, so I was everything. I was
Everything.
the website designer, the packager, the distributor, the manufacturer, you name it, I
Wow.
did it.
Wow.
So we started this business. Our very first party was
Yeah.
July the 29th of 2012.
Wow.
And we went in, we did mini manis, mini pedis, and mini facials, and we used our sugar scrubs.
Wow.
We did this for about 7 years. And
Wow.
the wonderful thing about this was, yes, we made money in the process,
Yeah.
but what I loved about doing that was doing it with my daughters,
Yeah.
as well as going into the homes of little girls, and they wanted to see these two little girls that started a business.
That is
They
incredible.
and their parents, everybody was intrigued. So we stayed booked. So I had one young lady that worked with me all the time at every single party. And depending on the size party, we went from 6 to 25.
Oh
I
my
would
God.
have, hire like part-time people to come in. We ran a business. They were getting paychecks and everything.
Wow.
It
Now,
was
did
a
the girls come with you, Jackie?
Yes, my daughters helped. So Maya, she couldn't really paint nails. So what I
Yeah.
had Maya do, she was kind of like the floater. She would
Yeah.
put the clear polish on because you can't mess up clear polish.
No. Mm-mm. Nope.
She
That's
did that, but as she got older, she did it, and they got a chance to see customer service, what it
absolutely.
was like to deal with parents
Yeah,
that were
absolutely.
a little not nice,
Uh-huh. Yes.
kids that were not nice.
Yes.
They got a chance to see the whole aspect of running a business. And
Absolutely.
during that time, I mean, they were keynote speakers at places like Dell Computers, and they were flying all the way to Sacramento, California, being on panels. They were at U of H, they were at UT. They co-authored a book. They were on the front page of the Houston Chronicle business section, the front page of the business section. I
How
mean,
old were they, Jackie?
at that time in 2013,
Yeah.
we had just started, and that's when they were on the front cover of the Houston Chronicle.
And how old were they at that time?
And so they were 11 and 6.
Unbelievable.
11 and 6. And I would, every evening, I would get home from work. I
Wow.
would cook dinner. I would get them together. And probably about 10 o'clock, because I was the PR person,
Yes.
I'm sending emails to like
Oh
20,
my
30
God.
people, telling them about my kids, trying to get them on the TV, trying to this, trying to that,
Wow.
and go to bed like at 1:30 in the morning, sleep a couple of hours, get
Yeah.
up at 5, start my day all over again. Did
Wow.
that for years. But it was so rewarding because now
It was.
I look at my daughters. My oldest daughter, she said, "Mom, I will never work for anyone."
Mm.
She went to school, she got her cosmetologist license, and now she runs a successful all natural hair care business, a stylist
Wow.
in the Frisco area, doing
Wow.
her thing. And we did a
Oh my
podcast
goodness.
just the other day, and we were talking about that. And she said, "I learned so much with
Art.
Sugar Babe." You know, so
Wow.
that was my inspiration. So in 2019, we came together, and of course, they were older by that time, and we want to venture and do other things. So I said, okay, let's tell me what you want to do. So Layla has always been into fashion and things like that. So she wanted to have her own accessory line. So I said, okay, so I'll sew into your business, help you get the inventory going. And she learned a lot along the way. So she created her own website, her own promo material, because we were doing all of this ourselves. So that was the beauty of it, because they were able to learn all of these things, yeah, on their own. And then Maya, she said, Mom, I want to do film editing. So I found a program. We were living in Austin at that time. And so I found a program for her, and it was connected to the Austin Film Society. And she learned how to use software that the producers in Hollywood use, Final Cut Pro. She got certified in that as a teenager. And it was amazing.
Look at that setup. Oh my gosh, Jackie, I can see how it when they started at 6 and 11 and how it grew them to be prepared for now. And I believe, Jackie, if we were to talk about it, that is the importance of pouring into our kids, listening to them and trusting them. I think so often I hear you and it kind of makes me want to like take a big gulp, because when kids come to you at that young age and say, I want to do this, how often do we say, okay? Which leads us into our topic, right? We come up with so many reasons why to say no, but you just said yes, and look at what it did. Look what it did for your children and for yourselves for over the years. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this, okay? I want you to help some of our listeners, help us with that transition process on saying yes. How do we cross out and navigate through some of those weeds and some of the things that get in our way that prohibits us from saying yes so easily?
I believe in the power of yes.
Mm,
And and not saying yes to everything. So
okay.
let me put that disclaimer.
Okay.
But I do believe in the power of yes, because when we say yes,
Yes.
that opens up a world of opportunities
Mm,
for us when we say yes. And I am also a believer.
mm,
So, in the power of yes,
mm,
we are saying and surrendering to God this yes,
yeah.
that we are going to follow your lead, and because we know that you're going to guide us,
Mm,
and everything is going to work out because you're at the center and you're at the forefront of everything that we do. So that is very important to me. And I think a lot of times what keeps us from saying yes is
come
the
on.
fear of what if. What
Yeah.
if I don't have enough money? What if people don't accept me? What if people, what if there are other people's opinions? All of
Right.
the distractions, all of the noise that we hear keeps us from doing that. And I
Yeah.
heard someone say not too long ago, well, some years ago,
Hmm.
of how our children are risk takers and they don't even know it. They don't put a lot of thought into things. Like my daughters were prime example.
Yeah.
They didn't think about, oh, my
Yeah.
mom's a single mom now, and so it's going to cost money for her to do X, Y, and Z. They were just like, we want to start a business.
Right.
You know,
Right.
let's
Right.
do it.
Right.
And I think we as adults, we can overanalyze
We
things.
can.
So if we have the dream, because the God has given us the dream,
Mm,
we have the dream, we want to move forward, then we just have to step out. Because when we step out, then the provisions are going to be made for us. But if
totally.
we never step out, we'll never know that this is what could happen. People will come to us, they will come to us. How can I help you? How can I be of service to you?
Mm,
And you need to be of service to them.
amen. Amen. That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
And
very true.
also a part of that yes as well
Uh-huh.
is
Hmm.
yes, how can I be of service to you? How can I give to you?
Right.
Because when you do that, when you serve others and you serve from a good place, from
Yeah.
a pure place,
Yes.
everything else is going to come to you. Everything else is going to be right where you need it. And so I feel that when we can just get past some of those barriers, then it'll be so much easier for us to say yes and
Yeah.
to move forward.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. I love the way you broke that down to Jackie, because and I love how you compared it to the girls. They don't come with a bunch of excuses. And I love it. And not only that, and you set the example to them to just push past those fears and do it. And it is hard to bypass those fears. the what ifs, and there's no way, and people, won't accept me. And it's very hard to, weed through that. So I love the way that you broke that down. And more or less, more importantly, one of the first things that you said was, have that faithful heart, knowing that if God led you to do it and gave you that dream and that vision, just go after it. I mean, he's got to have made your path straight, right? Okay, can you share some pivotal moments when saying yes led to an unexpected opportunity or even challenge?
For me, right now, doing my business, the Glow Collection. So I'll back up just a little bit. When we dissolved Sugar Babes in 2019,
Mhm.
I was already using the name Jacquie O. I have been using that name for a couple of years because I knew eventually I was going to use that name in business.
Mhm.
So I continued on with the skincare journey. I took classes to make it more age appropriate for women, and because I wanted to target women at this point.
Mhm.
So when I am anywhere I go, I don't care. I'm on vacation. I don't care where I am. I
Mhm.
am always looking for opportunities. I'm
Uh,
not waiting for them to come to me. I'm always looking for opportunities. And
mm.
the most recent one was this past Christmas.
Mhm.
We were in California visiting my baby son,
Uh-huh.
and he sent me and my husband to the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay for a day of relaxation at the spa and lunch and so forth.
Mm.
So we went there, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And I needed that. But on the way back, we stopped at all of these little stores and shops. So of course I'm like, huh, okay. And we went into this lavender farm and all things lavender. And I said, oh, I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
now my radar is up because I'm thinking, how can I get in here?
Man.
Looking around and doing these things. That's the yes, right? Because I'm looking for the opportunities. So
Yeah.
after we leave there, I start researching who's the owner, who do I need to contact, all of these things. Reached out to her, sent her samples. Oh, I love it. I want to carry it in my store. Boom. There you have it. And we're there in Half Moon Bay. So
Wow.
that is the power of yes, I'm going to walk in this. Yes, I'm scared. What if they say no? But what if they say yes? Because
Mm.
there are hundreds of people that go through that store, tourists that go through that store. And that area itself is tourists all over the place.
Absolutely. Beautiful
They're
area.
coming through this little cute store.
Absolutely.
And here you have my calming butter that has lavender in it. So it fits right in. And not only that, it sits right at the front at the
Mm, mm,
register.
mm.
That's where she placed it.
Wow.
The power of yes. So,
Wow.
and was I scared again? Yes. Anytime I reach, and you would think that, oh, I should have this down pat, but
Yes.
no.
No. Okay, well, you're doing a good
Yeah.
job making it seem
So,
like it.
yeah, it seems like it, but sometimes there's butterflies of what if
Yeah.
they say no? But you know what? Even if they say no, in the next couple of months, I'm going back. Because if they don't tell me, don't call me anymore, then I'm going to circle back and say, hey, I just want to circle back. And I'll never forget my very first retail was in Austin. It was at a pharmacy called Terrytown Pharmacy in a really, really high end area of town. Okay. And not that I'm going to make this a racial thing, but there's no African Americans that live really in Terrytown. And if they do, it's like on the outskirts, but not in the actual place. And so I contacted them. I sent an email first and I heard from them. And she was like, oh, well, not right now. And I said, okay. And I circled back around maybe 6, 7 months later. And I said, I just wanted to come back and see how everything is, and if you would consider our products. So she asked me to send her a sample. So, my kids tell me I'm over the top. Okay.
Okay.
So my packaging was over the top. I'm like, I'm going to send her like this just elaborate package in a gold box with gold trim, just everything.
Nice.
And I hand delivered it to them. And probably 2 weeks later, she called me. She says, I want to carry your whole line.
Oh,
The whole
wow.
line.
Oh, wow.
And so and then not only did she do that, but she did like a whole soft launch for me. She
Wow.
had someone come in and serve champagne. She had me sitting at the front, and people were purchasing the products, and it was like meet the person. And I was also the first African American woman to ever have a product in their store, to be a vendor in this pharmacy.
Wow.
And so I was in that pharmacy for 2 years, and our products, they did not do as well as we wanted them to do. We had sales, but not,
Hi.
like
Yeah.
what we wanted them. And so that
Right.
was a learning experience, because that was my very first
Mhm.
experience in
Right.
retail.
Right.
So I got a chance to learn quite a bit on
Yeah.
that side. But it was all this yes, and you just stepping out, that's a part of your yes journey, saying yes to the call, yes to that. And then there are challenges along the way. Your challenges could be just capital,
Yeah.
having
Mhm.
capital to run your business and do it the way that you should. But
Right.
even in that, anytime that I had fallen short,
Mhm.
God was always there
There.
to, there was a ram in the bush,
Oh, come on.
you know, and it was always what I needed
Mm,
at that time. Like it could have been an order, a wholesale order, whatever it was, it
mm.
came through at that time.
That's good.
So, being an entrepreneur, it is hard. It's
Yes.
hard. Every day you're not going to get a sale. You
Yes.
know, you
Yep.
may go a couple of days without getting a sale. You may even go a whole week without
Yes.
getting
Yes.
a sale. But
Uh-huh.
you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, because as you stated earlier, when God gives us this dream, we have to keep going. And it's all about his timing. I've also learned
Yeah.
that. It is all about his timing. I don't compare myself to someone else that's doing what
Mm,
they're doing, because that's their journey and this is my journey. So I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going
mm.
to be patient. I'm going to be consistent, be persistent, persevere
Yes.
persevere
Yes.
and do what I'm supposed to do while I'm waiting on God's timing.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You got me so excited right now. Like literally. Okay. We need everybody to lean in. If I hear what you're saying correctly, Jacquie, you are saying that your yes is a partnership. Your yes is a partnership. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you have a business, if you are podcasting, if you are writing a book, if you are even raising your children or in your marriage, when you give that yes, it's a partnership with you and that faith in God that He put you there for a reason. And you actually have to work and walk. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. You are getting me excited. You are getting me excited. And I want to tell you, Half Moon Bay is beautiful, beautiful area. And for you to be in that area, I want to just say this real quick. For you to have walked in that area, and yes, you're enjoying yourself, but you are also looking at the doors that God possibly could have opened for you. And would you had ever known that if you didn't ask, Jacquie?
Never.
Ooh, all right. I need everybody to lean in. We're trying to find the power in our yes. Okay. Okay. So we talked about overcoming challenges. I want to talk to you about your personal growth and insight and what you have learned about yourself from juggling, going, back and forth from being a mom to being an entrepreneur to trying to figure this yes thing out.
I've learned so much about myself. I've
Mm,
learned that I am resilient,
uh,
and I've learned that I am strong.
mm,
And I've also learned that I need to set boundaries. There are times when, and that's what I said earlier, the disclaimer, yes, that is good, the power of yes. But then there's some times when you can't say yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
I've learned that as well. And that's just discernment, that you just cannot be involved in everything, do everything, be connected to everyone. And
Mm,
so, even in this business for me, I have learned that, especially being connected in the world that we're in right now, everybody is running around talking about a connection, a connection, a connection.
yes.
And yes, connections are great,
Mhm.
but our prayer should be, God, let it be a divine connection,
Amen.
a divine connection,
Mm,
because I don't want to be just connected to anyone because they have something maybe that they can give me.
mm,
You see what I'm saying?
mm,
But
mm.
because God is always going to bring those people to you that need to be connected to you. So I've learned that along the way. And I've also learned that all money is not good money. You know, we've talked about that and we say that all the time. It's kind of cliche,
Yeah.
but it really is the truth.
Yeah.
And so I've done leadership trainings. I've been, invited to be a speaker at different places. And early on, I would say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then I had to sit back and be like, no.
Not doing
I
that.
don't care what you're paying me and how
Mm,
you're doing this and that. No, I'm not going to be able to do this at this
yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
that's okay. And being able to say no and being okay with it.
Yes.
So, all of these things I have learned, and I've really learned to trust in God. I've
Yeah.
really learned that because a lot of times things look a certain way with our natural eyes, right? We see things a certain way, but that may not be the way that it is and the way that God is taking it. And so I have learned in on this journey to trust him.
Yeah.
And when we say to really seek him, like we really have to live that out.
Mm,
And I have learned that. I've matured in that because I
yeah.
have always been here. So I feel that my
Mm.
journey as being an entrepreneur has really helped me in so many areas of my growth, my personal growth and my spiritual growth.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask you a question on that. Sorry. I need you to back it up because okay, Jackie, we have a lot of people who are listening and I love to kind of bring it home because I know that sometimes, especially when we're running a business, we forget that one, we're passionate about it, right? And two, whatever that dream is, when we're passionate about it, we have to understand and know that God gave it to us, right? And He wants us to walk it out and birth it. And I hear you saying that when we begin to really lean in and trust God's word and have that faith that He will provide for that business and that dream that He gave us, that we not only have to believe it, but then we have to live it. And you said that you've learned through your personal journey that you had to then begin to live it. You said you hadn't always been there. So I need to know what transitioned you to then begin to walk it and live it. When did that happen? When would that pivot happen for you?
It really started with me having a more intimate relationship with Christ, with
Mhm.
me just spending that time with Him and not having a popcorn prayer and a
Mm,
popcorn devotion, but really spending that time that I needed. We have to be intentional. That's the first thing about that because we are so busy in life and there's so many things happening. There's so many distractions that are happening to where you really have to close things off and really have to say, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of time. And so when I got myself together in that area, because even before that, I would stress out about stuff because that goes back to me seeing with my natural eyes. So I would stress out, I would worry, I'd be like, oh my God, this and that. And I also at one point compared myself. That's all I can say. Don't compare your journey because I did that. But once I got myself together and I got that intimate relationship with Christ, then I said, okay, I now I can do what I need to do. And when we talk about pivot too, like when God gives us the dream, just know that sometimes you might even pivot in that dream.
Oh,
That
that's good.
dream, you might start out one way, but
Mm.
it might go a different. And
Absolutely.
that's where you have to really be prayerful and listening, you know, because you may not stay on that path. But I
Yeah.
think for me, the first thing was for me to get myself together.
Yes.
Because once I had myself together and I was loving myself, taking care of myself,
Yeah.
my mental and my physical,
Mm.
then now I could be more productive. And now I can, when I'm speaking to other people and doing podcasts or trainings or whatever that I'm doing,
Yeah.
I can talk to you from experience. And
Mm.
also, I may fall off the wagon.
Mm.
You know?
Mm.
Tomorrow, I might have a little stinking thinking happening.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yep.
I need to get myself together.
Yeah.
So I'm not perfect, and your journey is not going to be perfect. But
Yeah.
the thing is,
Mm.
we just have to recognize our weaknesses, our
Mm.
strengths. Also, you know, when we do make those falls or whatever that we're doing, just get yourself up and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and
Yeah.
keep on going. But I said all of that, and I'm gonna circle back to the main thing
Yeah.
is just getting yourself together, getting yourself together, and then and shifting your mindset on how
Oh.
you think and how you perceive the
Mm.
things that you're doing. And so once all of those things take place, I think then that's where that pivot will happen. And
Mm.
then you'll start seeing things differently and through the lens that you need to see them through.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's very good. I love that. I love that. Love it. Okay. I want you to give some advice to someone who is struggling with the decision to start making that pivot, start making that change, start beginning. And Jackie, can I just say this real quick? I love where this yes is going. It's not saying yes to everyone, but it is saying yes to the plans that God has for you and choosing to say yes to walk in whatever direction that He may have and not turn down or not shy away from due to fear of these opportunities that God has for you. But can I ask you something and for entrepreneurs? What advice would you give someone who is struggling with the decision of starting a business or beginning to shift their mindset? What advice would you give them towards taking that next step in their life?
I know for a lot of people, because of fear can really put you in a stronghold. And so when you are there, and we hear all the time, just take the leap, just take the step. But that's not easy for everyone.
Yeah.
And we know that. So my advice would be to even have a mentor,
Yes.
to have someone that can be there with you to help you to make that step out and not think so much about it.
Come
Just,
on.
just do it.
Right.
So God gives you the dream, even if you start out with registering your name, going down to the county clerk, registering your name. I think for us it's $16.
Yeah.
So under $20,
Yeah.
register your name. Once you register your name, go get your EIN. Then go get your bank account. You know, those are three things that you can do right away. And when you do those things, you step out, I promise you, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. I'm starting this business. I'm setting it up
Yeah.
the right way.
Yep. Yes. Oh, that.
You know, we've been talking about we started
Yeah.
a business and we have no files, we have no
Nothing.
We have no nothing. So, just doing it the right way. And if you can't afford a mentor, I've said before, I have online mentors. They don't even know.
I love you, Jackie.
Like,
You're so
it's
funny.
people that I watch and that, I may watch them and watch their interview over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so what can I take from this and do
Oh, that's
this?
good.
So that's what I would say to you is just really, just like it says, step out. You
Yeah.
know, just step out with just that little thing that you're doing. And every day, and write down a goal that you want to accomplish that day. Again, you may not do all three of those things that I just said in one day. You
Mhm.
may do one thing a week. Maybe set a goal for a week.
Yeah.
And by Friday, you're revisiting. I'm a journalist.
Mhm.
Or a journaler. I'm a
Yeah.
journaler.
Okay. Well.
I love to journal, and I have
Yeah.
so many different journals all over the place. I have
Yeah.
an idea journal that I write in. Mr. Johnson be saying all the time, "You have all these pads and stuff everywhere." Yes,
Never know when an idea is going to come. Got to write it down.
yes. You got to have them. One in my car, one in my purse. So, because you just never know.
Yep.
So I would say even get a journal and write down your ideas.
Yeah.
Right, because there's the scripture that tells us, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
So write down these things, write down the goals, and then go back and revisit them at the end of the week and say, hey, oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Also, get yourself an accountability partner. You may not be able to get a mentor, but get an accountability partner. That person could be your spouse, it could be your child, your sibling, your good friend,
Yeah.
whoever. And so they can hold you accountable and they'll be like, hey, did you do what you said you were going to do this week?
Right.
No, you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things that I would say to a person that's starting out, and it may be a struggle, it may be hard. If you can just maybe incorporate some of those things to help you get that start.
Yes, that's so good. That is very good. I love that. So I want to ask you, how can people find you? How can our listeners listening, how can they find you? How can they follow you? How can they learn more about who you are and find your products?
Yes, absolutely. So they can find me on social media. I am on LinkedIn at Jacquie O, which is JACQUIEOOH. I'm on Instagram also as Jacquie O, YouTube as Jacquie O. My Facebook page is Jacquie O Blog. So that's where you can find me. My website is JacquieO.com. You can shop the Glow collection there. We also just post other things there. So if you would like to book me for a speaking engagement, you can go there too on my contact page. If you just want to have a conversation, to ask me some questions, talk to me, you can also do that on my contact page by booking a conversation with Jacquie O. And yeah, that's what we have going on. And then my Motivational Monday show is every first Monday of the month, and we stream on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And our very first episode we streamed yesterday, as a matter of fact, on LinkedIn. So you can also catch us on LinkedIn as well.
That's nice. Oh, you started, okay, you're streaming on LinkedIn now. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna follow you there too. Um, okay, so I have one more ask from you, and all everyone listening, I will definitely leave all of this, all the ways that you can follow Miss Jacquie, and in the description below, so you can access her, access any products that you would like to try and use, or if you want her products in your stores or your boutiques or your shops. So please reach out to her and on that as well. Before we get out of here, Miss Jacquie, I love to give the floor back to all of my interviewees, and I want you to leave something at this well that our listeners can take with them throughout the week. What would you have to say?
So what I would say is, again, the power of yes is more important than you could ever imagine. because as I stated earlier, it will open up so many doors for you. And so just don't be scared. Don't be scared.
There you
And
go.
you know, just step out and just do whatever the dream is. And another thing is people can tell you, and that's why you have to be very careful in who you talk to, who you share with, because you can have some naysayers and you can have some people that may tell you the market is saturated. But guess what? It is saturated, but you are your own unique person. And what you bring to the table is totally different. You may have the same product or the same service, the same podcast, whatever it might be, but the spin that you put on it, your uniqueness, is what's going to make it special because we all have our own DNA. Even twins, triplets, they have their own DNA.
Yeah.
And so you are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is no one like you. So whatever you do, whatever you put your mind to do, you can do it. And the verse that I want to leave is with God, with Christ. All things are possible. Man can tell you that no, it's impossible, but God turns around and says, I am possible. And so it is possible. So that's what I would want to leave with you is just know that all things are possible with Christ and just step out and just do it.
Okay, ladies, if you don't take that for yourself, I'm gonna take it for me. Um, my goodness, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for coming and pouring at this well and helping us really redefine our yes. And I have taken so much from this episode that I'm going to be a little bit ahead of everyone else when you listen to this because I've been running with it. But thank you again so much for coming. And ladies, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Woman Witness Podcast of Stories at the Well. If you were blessed by something that was said today, we ask that you share. We ask that you share it with a friend, a sister. Follow Miss Jackie on all social media. Subscribe to Woman Witness. And until next time, perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time, bye.